Visitors worldwide are counting down the days. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're less than 2 months away from the world's largest cultural event. Expo Dubai 2020 is set to make a mark on the country, region, and even beyond, as the UAE will be the first nation in the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia to host the World Expo. Additionally, making it the largest global gathering since the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic. 50,000 employees have set up 192 pavilions, and 30,000 volunteers are ready to welcome the world to Dubai. The expo site is 4.38 square kilometers in size, or 613.5 football pitches, if you prefer. 90% of the materials used to construct the site will be used to create legacy buildings after the event. I'm honored to welcome a very special guest for Construction Week's ExpoTalks, Director of the Serbian Pavilion, Dr. Igor Kovacevic, and Professor of the Serbian Faculty of Economics. Hello, welcome to Construction Week.
My pleasure to be here.
Welcome to Dubai. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, great, enthusiastic about the Expo and everything that is coming.
Finally, we're 2 months away, less than 2 months actually away.
Yeah, we are all looking forward to the start of the Expo. Obviously, due to the COVID situation, everything was postponed for 1 year time, and now we are so excited. We used the period to not just Serbia, but entire international participation delegates to make better pavilion, better program, and to offer to the worldwide visitors a great experience, right?
We're very excited about that, especially here in Construction Week. So let's start off with, what is Expo to you?
Well, for me personally, Expo is a mind opener. I mean, even now during the construction phase, you can see how each country is trying to actually showcase the best of its country, obviously, not just in terms how the pavilions are constructed, which is very important, obviously, but in terms of the soft experience of the country. For me, it also means meeting people from around the globe, listening to their needs and wants, and also trying to explain what our country is all about. And of course, we are all looking forward to the legacy that is coming after the Expo. So we see this, and I see this as an investment of the energy, of smiles, of friendships in making a better world in the period after the Expo.
Definitely, everybody's just trying to represent themselves in the best light possible at Expo. And
you just need to be objective, you know, in this. And it's, when you are honest, it will be very, very easy. And this is what we're trying to do, and hopefully we'll achieve it on a very good level.
Especially now with the post-pandemic era. I think everybody needs some more smiles and positive vibes.
Exactly. I mean, COVID pandemic actually showcased that, okay, events maybe are not the most essential thing, but if you really want to live the life and to have something of it, you really need events of this kind. And of course, the business events that are on the side of the Expo. That's why I'm really looking forward to the Expo, because this is going to be, you know, after the Olympic Games, it doesn't have any visitors. You know, unfortunately, here we'll have a really live visitors on site, and this will give entire events system opportunity to showcase that we can actually have events in a great manner, you know. And the Expo and the Expo authorities and Dubai and UAE authorities are doing the best they can to make sure that the environment is safe and there the visitors can be really enjoying the experience.
Definitely, this will be, I mean, the largest global event since the pandemic has started off. So I think we're very excited for that. But let's talk specifically about the Serbian Pavilion now.
Sure.
What was the idea behind the pavilion?
Well, our topic is actually Serbia creates ideas inspired by the past, shaping the future. And in order to understand this, I want to emphasize the entire story behind our pavilion, and the content is run by the Serbia Creates platform within the Prime Minister office, which is actually a national brand platform, try to communicate the best of Serbia, especially in the field of the creative industry, tourism, and similar industries. And we actually needed to have some highlight, and that is the reason why we start with our Vinča culture. Vinča culture actually dates back almost 7,000 years before the Christ, and they brought to this planet so many good things, like the first industrial revolution with melting of the metal, first the modern and urban settlements with a very clear direction of the streets, with the several store buildings, houses at that point of time, modern agriculture, modern trade. And this is, we actually try to take these things from the history and showcase how entire world and Serbia developed until now and how we can continue in the future. Of course, we still use this Serbia Creates Ideas platform as not just communicating to the regular tourists and visitors, but also to the business people, because Dubai is a central hub of the Middle East and Asia, and of course Africa. We want to showcase the best of our companies as well. Of course, everything that we do on the pavilion within this team, we want to make it not just entertaining, but also it needs to have education point with that as well. And that's why our creative team is really doing hard to make sure that everyone is understanding what we're trying to send and the messages that we are trying to send. So this is the idea in broad. Maybe later we can come into the details.
Definitely. Well, since you took us back to history, I would like to ask you about your previous pavilions. I mean, we could take time back to 1885 in Belgium and move on to Shanghai in 2010. How is this pavilion different now?
Well, a good question. I mean, the first thing, we have over 1 century or 120 years long tradition on the expos, which is very good for one small country. And our first presence in Belgium, as you said, actually Kingdom of Serbia at that point of time won over 150 awards, which was very, very good. Then maybe we had a very good participation in Brussels. And before that in Paris. I want to just, in Paris Expo took place in 1900, so it is exactly 121 years ago, because our concept was to present Serbia in a form of the Serbian Byzantine style church. And even now, the beautiful iconostas, which is our fresco paintings, are now kept in Belgrade, in Serbia. You can actually visit it while in Belgrade in our main church called Saborna Church. And you can see how actually this legacy goes for over 1 century. The last big participation of Serbia was in Shanghai. We had a great pavilion, and one of the engineered, or how to say, design element that was very typical is actually Pirot rug colors around the pavilion, which actually gathered a lot of attention. And this expo in Dubai is actually for us the most important because we have the biggest pavilion in comparison to the previous, which actually give us the biggest space to showcase our ideas and wants. So this is how it went to the history.
Definitely, you guys advance with every expo that's coming, and that's great news. Regarding the design of the pavilion itself, how does your theme complement the design?
Well, it needs to complement, obviously, because without one or each other, the story will go somewhere behind who knows where. Well, we have multiple levels. We have a physical level, we also have a virtual level. So not just because of the COVID pandemic measures and things, but we also want people to get used to all our ideas to get in the virtual world. But when it comes to the physical space, we wanted to make sure that everything is designed in a way that the visitors have an objective feeling that they are controlling the experience. So we don't want them to be passive. We want them to interact with the experience, to know, to learn, to answer the questions and things like that. So this actually, they need to understand how we create ideas. As you can see, when you use a grammar, create, it is in present. So it's not about the past, it's about the present, but also how you bring values to the market so the market can grow in the future as well. Of course, there are multiple layers. They will have an opportunity to experience some of our best products. They will have the opportunity, which is happening on the ground level. For the business people on the middle level, they have an opportunity to experience the opportunities, so how to invest, where to invest, and so on. And the final level is all about the history, but also the path through the history to the modern Serbia, and how Serbia looks today, and what we want to look in the future as well.
Always have that culture aspect in the Serbian Expos, that's great. Regarding the build-up area and the design, could you please tell us the total plot area for a construction week of the Serbian pavilion?
We are the part of the middle-sized pavilions, and the total plot area is approximately 2,000 square meters, which is a lot. That's why we actually went a little bit higher.
And the biggest yet?
For us, it is the biggest yet. Of course, there are some other very interesting and very large pavilions, and I'm pretty sure they have a lot to offer. But for us, 2,000 square meters, which is fine, and it goes on the various levels as well.
How many floors will it have?
We have 3 floors. And each floor is dedicated to a different type of the experience. That's why it has a different architectural style. The ground level is about the retail and trade, which actually focuses on the best Serbian products. We did together with the Serbian Chamber of Commerce to showcase the best unique products of Serbia. That's why the design actually best matches the design of the retail shop, like the supermarket, so people can actually move around freely. We also have the zones like the Serbia traditional zone, impulsive zone, and so on. The middle floor is the business. So over there, the design and the architecture follows the business style. So we have the office space, we have the lounge area, or the majlis, as you call it here, and we also have a typical, you would say, like amphitheater or the speaker room, whatever. So actually more people can get in one place. Of course, this is also very interesting for the event size. So we can actually have a different standing events with the pass around the potential F&B. And the last floor, obviously mostly focusing on the regular visitors. It's more in this event museum style with a lot of open space, with the concrete areas filled with the AV and other technical elements that people actually can more understand Serbia about.
Due to the pandemic, a lot of the construction sites did get affected, unfortunately. But I would like to ask you, do you have a specific date when your construction site started?
Yes, we started our construction almost a year and a half ago. So it was January 2020, if I recall correctly. Unfortunately, the pandemic slowed down the works because of the numerous reasons. But now everything is full speed ahead and we are almost there. But you know, pandemic happened and we all need to face the situation. So some countries face it better, some not, but it was not about the countries, it was about the constructors. You know, you have 1 million workers on site in a different field of construction and so on. So everyone needs to face a new situation. I also think that the Expo did a great job. They have postponed the Expo, obviously, but did help us to understand the COVID situation and then to come stronger after that and to fulfill all the requirements necessary to have one great event.
Exactly. And the main contractor of the Serbian Pavilion, could you give Construction Week the exclusive of who it was, as well as the subcontractors?
We had a public tender procedure.
All right.
And the team decided for the SAM contractor. Main contractor is the SAM building company based here in UAE, and of course there are some different subcontractors, which is you need to have it obviously in order to finish everything. Of course, we have our architects of records as well involved, which is very important. And besides that, we have a very great company, Sky Music from Serbia, which is actually in charge of the entire AV on the pavilion. And not just that, because there's a lot of things happening, and even now, today, you know, the guys are right there waiting for the container with the equipment, which is very good. The equipment is coming, it's good, it should be installed very soon, so we'll
good news.
Yeah, it is good. We'll be up and running, but of course, some of the works are going parallel, and it should go that. So we have a very good coordination among the various teams on site in terms of the constructions and the AV teams, cable teams, you know, MEP teams, whatever. So it will be fun. Yeah.
So with the countdown to Expo 2020 being just 52 days away, I'm sure everybody's rushing. Hopefully,
but positively rushing.
Exactly.
Everything is coordinated, so there is no room for mistakes, obviously. You know.
Hopefully finishing everything up.
I mean, I'm there every day on a stand, although I'm not the engineer. You know, I'm trying to follow it from the management perspective, and everyone is bringing their own values. You know, including the project managers, different subcontractors. We're constantly on site, coordinating.
Open to advice, opinions, comments.
Of course,
everything. Group work.
Of course, yes, sure.
Definitely. Regarding the materials used, could you tell us a little bit about that? The technical aspects of it. What materials are used for the pavilion?
Yes, well, the major part is made obviously from the steel structure. We have a lot of glass, we have a lot of aluminum, gypsum boards, of course, and aluminum composite panels and the white concrete, obviously. So when you all this put together, you get something like this on the screen.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
well, it will be, yeah.
Regarding sustainability, this is a big word now.
Yes, it is.
It's a big theme in this year's Expo. I just wanted to ask you, what percentage of these materials that you just talked about?
From the ones I mentioned, probably, 65 of them can be recycled or reused.
Right.
But not to forget, there will be a lot of equipment. For example, like the AC units, it will be only running for 6 months. So they can obviously be, after a good cleaning, they can be used as well. Some of the materials, elements like AV equipment can also be used. So we try to do our best when it comes to the reconstruction and recycling, of course. But of course, on the other side, there are a lot of challenges we need to face. You know, because of the COVID situation, there were so deadlines. You know, materials couldn't come from China or from wherever, so we need to find some other things. And a lot of deliveries were done right here from the UAE. So we actually try to lower down the cost, but actually again comes to the sustainability part of the story.
Regarding modular construction, that's something that's also quite a big theme in this year's Expo. And in general, in the Middle East, here at Construction Week, we tend to have a lot of discussions regarding modular construction. Could you please tell me, are there any modular construction elements deployed?
I would say that if there were some modular structure, it would be much easier for us. Unfortunately or fortunately, there are no modular structure. Everything is custom-made. And when I start to follow the project, for example, we had over 100 glass elements, and none of them is the same. And when the guys came to measure the things on site, even there, if they make a mistake of up to 5 millimeters, entire thing needs to be done from the beginning. So on one side, using a modular structure gives you a plenty of vacant space so you can actually feel comfortable. Yeah. But if you really want to go straight and to showcase the precise and to showcase how technology went, then we go with the customized approach. It gave us a little bit headache from time to time, but at the end we are very, very satisfied. Of course, it was very hard to find a suitable subcontractor or the people that would deliver the glass on time or ACP facade on time and so on, but we managed it, and now everything comes together as a puzzle. So I'm very, I love it.
All right, really good, all right, it's great to hear. And what work do you have left regarding the construction of the pavilion?
Well, I would say that at this point of time, approximately 95% of the building is finished.
That's good to hear.
That is good. So I expect in the next few days to have the final BCC and things done. I'm not really sure when this is going to be streamed, but hopefully by the time it's going to be streamed, it will all be finished. At this point of time, 100% we have done the steel construction, ACP facade, escalators and lift. Lifts approximately 90 to 95 facade, the glass facade, aluminum louvers, MEP works, and the external hardscape is approximately 50%. The reason for that is that we need to remove all the heavy machinery from the plot in order for people, exactly. The fit out is almost 85% and the internal partitions around 90%. Of course, this goes parallel with the AV equipment installation because you need to put first the AV cables and then you need to close it. Obviously, if I understood correctly, but this is going, once you close the building, it is much easier to work inside on the interior work. Yeah.
I mean, that takes me right next to my next question, and that's regarding what activities do you still have planned for the next couple of weeks before the opening takes place?
Now it's crucial to pass all the inspection from the relevant authorities, including, for example, DIVA, Etisalat, firefighting, because without that, it means that the building itself is not safe for the visitors and for the workers. And now we're actually focusing on fine-tuning all these small works that will actually showcase the pavilion as safe as possible so we can actually get all these authorization. Of course, there will be some finishing AV works, joinery works as well happening in the same time, but we are all set in the right direction. Yeah.
And then regarding safety programs, what are some of the health and safety programs which the Serbian Pavilion has implemented, especially now with the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, it's a good question. Actually, Expo thought about everything, the Expo authorities. And in order for not just our constructor, but any constructor to be engaged on the Expo side, they need to follow very strict Expo welfare rules, COVID rules, and so on. And that's why we also need to follow it, which is very good. And I need to say, for example, there is a lot of workers on site. Of course, they have air-conditioned buses dropping them off and on, depending on. They have meals, AC rooms. There's a healthy and safety officer, COVID officer, fire officer. So everything is actually according to the guides. The thing is, now the final works are done in July and August. It's very hot. And that's why additional water, chilled water and chillers are implemented on site as well. So in order to make these people alive and work a little bit easier, we fully understand them. Usually between noon and 2 o'clock, all works are stopped for the pause in the work, but also because it's very hot. Of course, some of the works are also done outside during the night, because it's much convenient for them to work. Of course, in this case, when you're working during the night, additional health and safety measures need to be implemented. And of course, everyone has proper protection gear. Even now, when I go to the stand, all the suits, you can need to put everything on. Of course, the mask, the gloves, the sanitizers, everything is there. This is for all the pavilions, so we need to be the same as all others.
All of these specific safety examples are very great to hear, especially for us here at Construction Week.
It's good. I mean, we need to be aware that these people are actually building, we need to pay attention to them. They're very important for us. So we're making sure to admire them in this way.
Exactly, and take care of their health.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's always great to hear specific examples of how you take care of your workers on the site, especially for Construction Week. It's definitely a very big discussion that we always tend to have with everybody that we interview. How many workers are being deployed actually at the site of the pavilion?
Well, daily there's a number between 80 and 130 in 2 shifts, all divided in several teams, like a MEP team or facade team, media team, and so on. But it's not always about the numbers, it's about the quality of the workers, because sometimes the quantity cannot, maintain the quality of the job. And this is why we always have a constant communication with our constructor to make sure that, okay, we have the numbers, but we need to have qualified people, because this will make job done. Of course, more people are there in the daily shift. In the night shift, usually the other people that cannot work during the day because of the sun or because of the heat on the outside facade element and things like that.
All right. So most construction works do happen during the night.
Well, I would not say most, but some part is taken during the night as well. Yeah.
All right. And how many safe man hours have they recorded on the site?
Yes, we are very proud of it. At this point of time, we have 0 safety incidents on Serbian Pavilion, which is very good and positive. Of course, this is not just happening like that. Our product manager on site, from the constructor side, but also from our Serbian Pavilion side, is making sure that actually on a daily basis you need to remind people on the safety and health measures, especially the safety. Sometimes workers tend to, in order to finish faster, they tend to forget things, but we have people on site really communicate with them. So until now, and hopefully it will be until the end, there are no any accidents, so we want to keep the good job. Yeah.
Ending off the interview at a very good note regarding the safety precautions which the Serbian Pavilion follows. That's always great news for us. And Expo 2020 Dubai will provide the space for the largest and the most inclusive cultural and knowledgeable exchange in the world. And we here in Construction Week are always very happy and very excited for such events. So thank you, Igor, for your time today.
It was my pleasure. Looking forward to see you in the pavilion to do the walkthrough.
Definitely.
I think it will be interesting for your readers and users.
Definitely. We'll be coming over for some site visits in September, and best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Looking forward.
The global community is preparing for a new stage of collaboration by harnessing science and technology to combat the pandemic. Expo 2020 Dubai provides the platform for sharing knowledge and innovations, as well as the most complex construction projects, but most importantly, the power of human solidarity in overcoming the pandemic. My name is Mina Vucic, reporter at Construction Week, and thank you for tuning into our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and comment your thoughts on today's episode, as well as subscribe to our website to receive the newsletter. See you soon with more exclusives and site visits from the world's largest cultural event. And remember, we're connecting minds and creating the future. See you soon.